Good evening, everybody. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to cover the battery topic of dendrite. Okay? So, let's begin by explaining to you guys what a dendrite is and why it is so important to batteries. Okay? This particular word comes from the Greek word dendrites, which means something that is related to a tree. In the case of minerals, it means some structure that is produced on or inside a mineral. When it comes to batteries, these dendrites form in the electrolyte of batteries. When these dendrites form, they puncture the material that is supposed to separate the electrodes of the battery. When this happens, the battery no longer functions properly. It ceases to store electricity, and in some cases, depending on what kind of battery you've got, it could cause the battery to catch on fire. And that's something you don't want in your house. This has become a huge problem with current lithium battery technology. That is one reason why many battery companies are searching for ways to keep these dendrites from growing in batteries. Now, I would love to stop there, but there is more than one term that I need to explain to you guys when it comes to batteries, and this is very important. So, what's the next term I'm going to explain to you? The next term is called Chalcogen. Okay, and if I mispronounced it, I am sorry, but that is how it is written. Chalcogen. And you can look at the title of this video and you can see that for yourself. Well, never mind. In the periodic table of chemistry, any element that contains similar compounds are grouped together. The columns of the periodic table are called groups. The 16th group of elements are called chalcogens. The first element in the 16th column is oxygen. The second element in the 16th column is called sulfur. Sulfur has a similar electron configuration to oxygen. That's why they are in the same column on the periodic table. What does this information have to do with battery technology? Well, I'm going to tell you about that in a future video, so hang in there. Alright, another term I need to explore with you guys is a term called kinetics. Now, if you're thinking I'm going to give a long-winded description of kinetics in this particular video, you're wrong. I'm just going to introduce the term to you because you need to know it. This field of chemistry involves the process of chemical substances transforming into other chemical substances and how fast these transformations occur. Okay? Another term you need to know is oxidation. Oxidation works like this. Let's say you have an element like iodine. This iodine has 7 electrons. If an electron in the iodine is transferred to another element, then the process of transferring the electrons from iodine to something else is called oxidation. Okay? Now, the object receiving the electrons, you have an element, it's receiving electrons. The process of it receiving electrons is called valence. Okay, another term you need to know is substrate. The etymology of the word substrate is as follows. The Latin prefix sub means under, as in submarine. And the Latin verb sternere means to stretch something out. Okay, it's something stretchy. In this case, it means some substance that is under another substance, probably either within or just directly underneath, like in layers, like you'd find in a sandwich, layers in a sandwich. Get the idea? Okay. The last word we're going to explore in here real briefly is polarize. This particular word comes from the Latin word polus, which means the end of an axis. Now, anybody that knows anything about how the Earth rotates knows that the Earth rotates on an axis. The end of that axis would be called a polis. This is where you get the polar vortexes, and you get the two poles of the Earth. You have the one at the Arctic Circle, you have the one at Antarctica, you get the idea. Okay. In the case of batteries, this refers to an increase in resistance of an electrolyte cell. Okay. That's all I've got for this particular video. Now you're getting a massive vocabulary lesson. You've probably learned a lot. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.